that. And now we will move into our final keynote of the day, Michael Rosenberg-Peterson. Michael, I'm so excited to have you here and to have you up on stage. Michael is a senior technical advisor for water distribution at the Danish Consulate General in Silicon Valley. In his role, he works to bring together Danish and American stakeholders to overcome challenges facing the water sector. And I think as a partner with us, there's just no better way to finish off our formal panels of the day than to have this discussion. Michael is focusing on the collaborative agreement, the MOU, between California and the Kingdom of Denmark, which you just heard a little bit about. Since 2015, Danish water utilities have stationed senior managers in California to share knowledge and experiences across the Atlantic. Michael's a hydrogeologist of background and on leave from his job as head of operations at the second largest water utility in Denmark, here with us in California. For more than 25 years, Michael's been working with all aspects of water, the whole water circle, from water resource mapping and protection to pollution and remediation to drinking water to advanced operations. So very knowledgeable, has run the gamut of these things. So again, thank you so much for being here, Michael, and I'm so looking forward to hearing your keynote.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I would like, of course, to share my presentation. So we need to have a little help on that, I think. Is that correct?
Yes, we can see it there.
That's great. So first of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present some of the takings from Denmark on the importance of data and collaboration. It's such an honor. And you might ask, why Denmark? You have already heard some good reasons actually in the previous speak, and I'm proud that we were mentioned at all, but I promise you that I'll get back to that later. But first, I would actually like to take you on a short journey. I know it's late, so I'll try to see if I can catch you on this little journey. I would like to take you back to last Sunday. It is early morning, and there's a group of about 2,000 people entering a boat at Pier 3 in San Francisco. It was still dark, it was cold and windy, and the air was filled with moist and fog, and I guess it is pretty much a normal day in San Francisco. And the boat, it actually sailed out into the dark and anchored up very close to the old prison island Alcatraz. Most of the people on board, and me included, was actually about to experience the unexpected. This is a picture of the jump, and as I grew up in the 70s and 80s, I of course have seen the movie Escape from Alcatraz starring Clint Eastwood. So when I got the chance to attend one of the most iconic triathlon events, I of course did. And I actually became an official escapee from Alcatraz, and yes, as you can see, I did survive the jump, and I also did survive the swim. And this is actually what it was all about. You jump into the water, you swim from Alcatraz, you do a little biking and a running, and then it's all over. That's not the point of our journey. No, I think actually what is remarkable is that, as you can see at the bottom, there's a live tracking on the event app. And today we just take it for granted that we have live tracking on all kinds of events for family and friends all over the world to watch how I, Michael, are doing in the race. Of course, my daughters back home in Denmark would like to know if I was eaten by a shark doing the swim or otherwise made it all the way to the finish line, but also myself. So the very first thing I did after catching my breath when I finished was actually to look at all my data. My time broken down into all kinds of different sections, my pulse, energy, hydration, and so on. All to see how well I was actually doing, data-wise anyway. And the next thing I did was actually to compare my data with the rest of the escapees. So how did I actually do? If I looked at the whole group, Then I started breaking down the results to fit my gender and my age group, because that makes more sense. Because let's face it, I was way down the all over result list. This is how thousands of people are doing every day in competitions all over the world on all kinds of apps. Collecting data, looking for progress, comparing them to other people's data, looking at my own data and thinking back on the race, I think, oh, well, I did a good job. But actually comparing with others, I can see, well, Michael, there's definitely room for improvement. I can't imagine how some of the people I was racing against can produce the data that I actually can see among the top athletes. But you know, it inspires me. And when I come to think about it, there were actually times during the race I actually could have done it differently to optimize my data. And now looking at the result, of course I should have. And definitely I will the next time. So comparing data with others sort of calibrates me and inspires me to find ways to optimize. I learn from the best. This is exactly the mindset behind the benchmarking a lot of water utilities, but also the Danish water utilities are doing. Getting your data together, looking for progress, compare them to others, get calibrated and inspired from the best. But how does it actually all start? Well, if we look back in time, when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, there were things in Denmark not that well. So when I grew up, I was not only watching movies, I also saw that the environment was affected of what we were actually doing and how we treated it. Denmark, we had an intensive groundwater abstraction close to the coast, and it backfired and it gave a problem with saline intrusions, saltwater intrusions. We also had problem with lack of flow in streams during the dry summer month, and we started getting problems with water quality due to spills and pollutions and then industrial accidents. The use of nutrients in agriculture and also later pesticides. This reduced the available amount of groundwater for drinking water. We also saw dead fish on the shores in Denmark due to the over-nitrification of the surrounding sea. And this was the unexpected. And at that time, and things have of course changed, it had to change, and it did. So today we can all enjoy the magnificent Danish shoreline, and we are one of the most happy people and nations in the world, and I think for many reasons, but this is one of them. The key to success were obviously. We had to start working together on a more holistic approach to solve the environmental issues we saw in Denmark. And we also needed to get away from optimizing in different sectors. Luckily, everybody was ready and could see the common goal. This led to the water policies that we have in Denmark. And they were founded out in regulations that led to collaboration, and eventually we ended up fulfilling the goals. And as you can see, this working together, and in the middle of and central of it all is actually the databases, organized in central databases for everyone to use, and where data could be shared. But that was not all. The success in collaboration, it actually spread to all kinds of sectors, trying to come up with new solution and innovation ways of attacking problems. Private, public collaboration, testing and developing new solutions and equipment to mutual benefit. The Water and Wastewater Association started the benchmarking that have grown to one of the highlights of the year and is supported by most large utilities in Denmark, all looking forward to data collection and results, just like my experience in Escape Alcatraz. Utilities, they started working together. with the universities, supporting PhD programs and so on. And last but not least, Denmark is a small country. We need to get and share input with the rest of the world, because at the end of the day, all water utilities are sort of facing similar challenges and are having similar goals. And that is why I, Michael, a colleague of yours, on leave for 3 years from my Danish water utility, are here in California to share knowledge, foster collaboration, and to learn. The Danish Water Technology Alliance outreach was formalized in 2007, and we heard it just before in the speak, and we signed this collaboration agreement. At that time, the world was more open, and we could do in-person events followed by in-person workshops. The focus was on groundwater management, water distribution, and wastewater optimization, and one of the lighthouse projects was the Stanford groundwater architecture project, the GAP project, on best practices on geophysical data. The MOU was re-signed this year, and it was a virtual event, and we actually had an artist trying to capture some of the takings. This is the result, and it was, first of all, we look back at all the work we had done, and then we try to learn from that and look forward. So we hope that eventually at some point we will have to do a follow-up in person and to sort of boost the collaboration. And actually we have learned a lot. This is actually how the Water Technology Alliance, where we are located. And as you can see, I'm out in California together with a colleague. We also have colleagues in California, in Chicago, and Houston as well in Texas. And what we do is actually that we relocate technical advisors with operation experience from the Danish water utilities. And what we do is actually reaching out. So this is a picture of me back in Denmark. I had the privilege to give tours on my facility. So now it's actually payback time. And I do love actually to come by and have a look at utilities and discuss issues and plans and share knowledge. And I also do love to hear the sound of a water pump starting, and I love to glance at a SCADA system. Due to COVID, I haven't been able to get out that much, but I don't worry. And you shouldn't worry either, because if you haven't been in contact with me, I'm here, and please reach out if you are up for a visit. I live in San Jose and I do have a car, so that's pretty easy. So other things we do is actually go and have visits and site visits and see what you're doing. We also actually have funds to do fact-finding trips to Denmark. So actually to go and see for yourself how we work in Denmark and where we are at and what our focus are right now. This is a photo from a fact-finding trip to Denmark. And if you notice the umbrellas, that's because we have a great deal of participation in Denmark, most of the year actually. And one of our struggles is actually flood prevention. This is a photo from one of my last projects in Aarhus before I left for my 3-year leave in California. This is the new generation of water storage, and I would love to give you a tour and tell you about the innovation process, the construction, and the digital blueprint that we have actually tried to work on an equal basis to architecture and static calculations. We need to think data architecture right from the start of a project, not only to get our current data stream organized, but also to prepare to all the new kinds of sensors and data I'm sure the future will bring. We also from time to time have some funding for pilot projects. And we also need to have some kind of feedback from the Danish solutions from North America. And there have been a lot of different tests and projects on everything from geophysics, we heard about it just before, also water meters with built-in leak detection, pressure management using controllable pressure regulating valves, but also booster pumps, demand-driven distribution, leak detection training from one of the most skilled Danish leak crews, machine health monitoring to optimize operation and maintenance, valve exercise centers, chopper pumps for sewage, lift station, grid washers, blowers, biogas turbines, slot pumps, and so on. I promised you some examples of takings from California. And first one, I would like to show you a thing that we have actually done recently in Denmark. This is a new development outside my hometown in Denmark. When it's fully developed, there will be a city of 20,000 people. The suburb that has been built are constructed around ponds and lakes, collecting rainwater to be used for toilet flushing and laundry. It is estimated that the purple pipe will reduce water consumption by 40%, and of course reduce the energy cost and water transport, and also because the water is produced locally. It is also quite important it's a quite important concept, this rainwater collection and uses in the storytelling of the city to attract residents and to drive local development. This purple pipe project is the first of its kind in Denmark, so it's not new to you, but it's something that we have brought back from the years that we have been working over here. So it's the first project in Denmark, and it's under strict control regarding water quality, backup systems, and so on. And I can tell that the development, of course, are equipped in the latest AMI meter system. So we think that hopefully we can actually collect data and analyze the water balance on the consumption, on both the water used in the house, but also water used for flushing toilets and shower, because it's the first time we have this dual pipe system. If we look at the topic for today, the expected, unexpected, I can tell you that we are actually right now in the planning of doing something unexpected in Denmark. So I have the latest, one of my last slides is actually the latest effort in Denmark to boost the collaboration. And it's deeply inspired by North America. So Silicon Valley is the place you go to if you want to be part of the latest development in the tech industry. But in Denmark, we are planning a water valley, a place you go if you want to be part of the latest development in the water industry. So right now, a new water cluster is under construction, revolving around the Danish water utility I work for, our new headquarters, where there will be living labs and facilities for universities, vendors of all kinds, and startups working locally and globally on water and on the water agenda. So we're trying to take collaboration to the next level and open up for even more international collaboration, because collaboration is essential for progress. Today we have actually heard over and over again that collaboration is important, and how the data collaborative have a huge network within California. And that is also why I really appreciate the invitation and partnership we have introduced today. We have also seen examples on approaches to get data preparedness in focus. And I just want to add that data matters. And the picture I have on the next slide is from our digital strategy in Aarhus, in Denmark, focusing on data all the way from governance, security, quality, structure, use, to support knowledge sharing, communication. We heard it today. How do you communicate? So having also the technical parts ready to do efficient and precise communication, that's important. And again, of course, decisions made on data. We also heard how the unexpected winter storm was handled, and it gives hope and definitely points out the importance of data collaborative and also knowledge sharing, preparedness, and of course training the unexpected. To see and hear how the drought are affecting California, and I'm in California, so I feel it and I can see it myself. It's actually traveling all the way to Denmark, all around the world, I'm sure. And my colleagues and my family back home are all concerned, not only for my well-being, but also for the global effect. So be aware, it is a huge thing also outside North America and California. And I'm impressed by all the different actions we have seen today being implemented. Also, the impressing meter optimizing and data analysis are a huge interest, especially because as a Dane, I actually do think that the per capita in-house water use in California is a little high. And I do have some personal experience after 1 year in California. But it has been a pleasure being a part of the event, and please remember I am in California working out of the Danish consulate in Palo Alto. And if you want to know more about my experience as head of operation at Danish water utility and what we're doing in Denmark and generally, and the Danish Water Technology Alliance, Danish solutions or collaboration in general, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michael. That was so interesting to hear about. And I have packed my bags, so I'm ready to go on a field trip to Denmark immediately to see these facilities. That was wonderful. But we really appreciate your partnership on this, on today's event, and even more so your partnership with the state of California to help us all advance in the things that are our mission. Improving water efficiency and understanding our best uses here and there. So thank you so much for all the work that you do. We're glad to have you here as a part-time Californian or a temporary Californian. So thanks for being here, and thanks so much for being a part of this today.